Welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Cheat Meal presented by Deep Fried Draft. My name is Brian Bosarge. This is our 10th episode of filming the Cheat Meal, and I'd like to thank everyone who has watched so far. As always we do here, we're going to recap the games from last week. We're going to preview the games this week. Plus we've got some news items to get to as well. So let's dive right in. We'll start last week, Appalachian State and Louisiana Lafayette. Appalachian State senior running back Marcus Cox missed this game, and as a matter of fact, he's missed every game since the Miami game that we covered earlier this year, as he left that game with an injury. Louisiana Lafayette senior running back Elijah McGuire was okay in this game, 53 total yards, but the lack of a coherent passing game for the Cajuns really not helping his cause. Their ex-LSU, LSU transfer Anthony Jennings, he was not very good at LSU. He's not very good here either. Memphis and Tulane got our first look at Tanzel Smart, and he did not disappoint. The senior defensive tackle for the Green Wave was a constant disruption in the backfield. And he also shows great effort in chasing plays downfield away from him. So this guy, probable top 100 pick at this point. Give a hat tip to friend of Deep Fried Draft, Joe Everett from DraftScouts.com. Joe brought to my attention Tulane junior defensive end Ade Aruna. He was born in Nigeria, got a great burst on the edge. And he's a finisher. He's definitely a nice prospect to look for in the 2018 draft cycle, because it's unlikely he'll declare early this year. Illinois and Rutgers. So for Rutgers, hey, good job. At least you scored this week. Illinois senior defensive end DeJuan Smoot showed off his skill set in this one. Forced a fumble, was in the backfield often. I'm not ready to say he's a round one guy, but he's definitely a top 100 guy at this point. West Virginia and Texas Tech. It's probably time to start taking West Virginia seriously in the Big 12. They dismantled Texas Tech on the road in Lubbock. A great performance by their senior quarterback Skylar Howard. Howard was accurate, especially on deep passes, which is something you always like to see from quarterbacks. He's a bit undersized, right at 6 foot. He may not even measure 6 foot, 207. So, I mean, he has some transferable skills to the NFL, but probably not a guy that's going to be around for the long term. A guy who did catch my eye was Da'Keel Shorts, wears number 6. He's a senior wide receiver. Mostly a slot guy for the Mountaineers, but he attacks the ball well. He really snatches it out of the air. He's very fast as well, so he's definitely one to keep an eye on as we move forward in the process. The game was originally supposed to be Thursday night, got canceled, so I had taken it off the watch list, but I decided to record the replay later that night on ESPNU. We'll receive North Carolina A&T and Bethune-Cookman. And this is basically another chance to see the Tarek Cohen show. And he had another phenomenal game. 242 scrimmage yards, 3 touchdowns, including an 87-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. Again, we'll stress the fact that Cohen is small, 5'6", but he runs with power, and you can't teach his speed. So definitely a guy I think that will make it at the NFL level. Alabama, Tennessee, despite getting destroyed 49-10, the standout in this game was Tennessee defensive end Derek Barnett. Forced a fumble on a strip sack. He beat Bama offensive tackle Cam Robinson, who continues to see his stock slide. Barnett also had an interception off a tip pass. Tennessee senior quarterback Josh Jobs and their 2 running backs, junior running backs Jalen Hurd and Alvin Kamara. They did not do a lot in this game, as you could probably tell. Bama had a pick 6 in this game and a punt return, upping their non-offensive touchdown total to 11 on the season, or as I like to say, that's now 2 more than South Carolina has offensive touchdowns. North Carolina and Miami. Junior running back for North Carolina, Elijah Hood. He gets most of the attention, but and rightfully so. But they also have another running back, senior number 8, T.J. Logan. He deserves some attention here as well. Logan has breakaway speed that you like in a back. Doesn't have the power that Elijah Hood has, but he's got better speed, and he may have a slight edge in the passing game. It's another name to look forward to in this draft. Virginia Tech and Syracuse. Virginia Tech junior tight end Bucky Hodges, nice weapon in the pass game. He doesn't line up in line at all with Coach Justin Fuente's system here. He's more of a big slot receiver in their offense. He's likely going to draw comparisons to Panther wide receivers Kelvin Benjamin and Devin Funchess. He wins in similar ways. Tulsa and Houston. Tulsa wide receiver Kevon Lucas is a speedy wide receiver. He's got a knack for getting open. Their other wide receiver, Josh Atkinson, he was infrequently targeted in this game, only ended up with 1 catch. It was a wild finish in this game, saw Houston win 38-31 after stopping Tulsa at the 2-inch line on the last play of the game. That followed a play in which Houston had 13 men on the field and somehow got away with it. Southern Miss and LSU. LSU's offense had a lot of explosive plays in the second half. They're the top offensive center prospect in this draft for me, Ethan Pochik from LSU. Started at right tackle in this game and didn't look back. More than held his own and actually won a lot of battles there. So the more you can do is always a good thing. First half, thought Southern Miss moved the ball well. Second half, nothing. LSU safety Jamal Adams was a maniac in this game. Double-digit tackles, continues to rise, could be a top 15 pick when all is said and done. UCLA, Washington State, no Josh Rosen in this game for UCLA, and their offense looked lost. Washington safety Shalom Luani had a solid game. He's on the Senior Bowl watch list. Last 2 weeks, I've took notice of Washington State slot receiver River Craycraft, number 21. He's made an impression on me. Finds holes in the zone, great concentration, good hands. So a guy to look forward to late rounds, undrafted free agent type there. Let's get to some college football news of the week. The Big 12, after months and months and months of courting teams for potential expansion, has decided, we don't want to. They're going to stay at 10, and it's basically just a big old tease for everybody involved. This also probably means whatever small chance Houston had at retaining their coach Tom Herman after this season probably died with that. We mentioned him earlier, Tennessee junior running back Alvin Kamara, likely out for the season as he has a meniscus tear in his knee. So he's probably done for the year. We shall see if his Tennessee career is done. He may come out early anyway. Purdue fired their head coach Darrell Hazel. It's not really surprising. Sporting News' Dan Walken, he reports that there could be mutual interest between Purdue and former LSU head coach Les Miles. We shall see. Funny side note to Purdue, I did not know this. I watched their game with Iowa this weekend on the Big 10 replay, and I did not know that they do not have lights at their stadium. That's just weird to me in 2016 that a stadium doesn't have lights. Anyway, moving on. Now to this week's game previews. We're going to start Thursday night, 6 p.m. on ESPN. Miami is at Virginia Tech. It's a big game, an ACC divisional play, and another chance to see the prospects on both of these teams, of which there are many. Friday night, 6 p.m. on ESPN, we're going to see South Florida at Temple. The USF offense have been dominant, led by running back Marlon Mack and wide receiver Rodney Adams. I also want to get a look at Temple senior offensive tackle Deion Dawkins, 6'5", 320. Big guy there on the left side. Saturday, 11 a.m. on ABC, we have NC State and Louisville. A great interior matchup to watch in this game is NC State center Joe Skelfro, wears number 66, transfer from South Alabama, against Louisville senior defensive tackle D'Angelo Brown. So look for that one. 11 a.m. ESPN News, Central Florida and UConn. UConn has 3 offensive linemen with potential NFL futures. Number 53, senior offensive tackle Andreas Knapp, 6'8", 325. Number 71, senior offensive guard Richard Levy, 6'6", 316. And junior center number 63, Ryan Crozier, 6'3", 295. Those 3 guys, like I said, all potential draftable candidates at some point in the near future. 11 a.m. on the SEC Network, UMass at South Carolina. Our weekly chance to see if South Carolina can score any points at all. South Carolina is actually favored by more points in this game than they've actually scored in a game this season. So if you're a gambler out there, probably take UMass in the points. UMass has 0 players currently on the watch list, but you never know who may stand out. 2:30 p.m. CBS, Texas A&M at Alabama. Not sure if I ever recall a game where one team is favored over a top 6 team by 17 points, but here we are. Texas A&M had a bye to prep for this game. Alabama spent their week Seal Club in Tennessee. For Texas A&M to win, I think Trevor Knight has to be every bit as good as he was the last time he played Alabama in the 2014 Sugar Bowl. 2:30 p.m. Reverse mirrored on ABC and ESPN2. We have TCU at West Virginia. I saw I liked a lot in West Virginia last week, so I thought I'd check them out again in this game. This will be the first of a few big tests for the Mountaineers in the Big 12 if they hope to have a chance at the college football playoff. 3 p.m. on the SEC Network, we have Middle Tennessee at Missouri. Our first look at both teams, and friend of Deep Fried Draft, Middle Tennessee defensive coordinator Tyrone Nix. Go back a ways with Coach Nix. Great guy there. Top player from Missouri is junior defensive end Charles Harris. Number is number 91, 6'3", 255. Harris, very good edge rusher with first-round potential. For Middle Tennessee, they had a top 100 defensive back last year in Kevin Byard, who we interviewed at the Senior Bowl. They have another potential, maybe top 100 defensive back in senior corner, number 9, Jeremy Cutler. So look for him there. 5 p.m. on ESPN, we have Arkansas at Auburn. Big matchup in this game is going to be Auburn edge rusher Carl Lawson and Arkansas offensive tackle Denver Kirkland. I'm not Denver Kirkland. I'm sorry. Skipper. Dan Skipper. That's Denver Kirkland. He was the lineman last year. Auburn has looked much better in the last few weeks. Sean White has actually looked like a competent quarterback. So we'll see if that continues. Our FCS games this week, 6 p.m. on Fox Sports Arizona. Montana is at Northern Arizona. It's another look for us at Montana quarterback Brady Gustafson. Currently, Northern Arizona has 0 players on our watch list. And at 6:30 p.m. on ESPNU, Tennessee State is at Vanderbilt. It's an opportunity for us to check out a player on the Senior Bowl watch list, Tennessee State senior offensive guard number 66, Jessamine Dunker. It's also another look at Vandy junior inside linebacker Zach Cunningham, who had nearly 20 tackles last week against Georgia, including the game-sealing tackle on 4th and 1 that won the game for the Commodores. So that's all for the games that we currently scheduled to watch for this weekend. As always, I'll generally end up adding maybe 1 or 2 other games just to get tape on guys to watch at a later date, because you never know. Some NFL trade news today. The Chiefs traded backup running back Nile Davis to Green Bay, who is in running back depth charts in peril right now with Eddie Lacy and James Starks both hurt. So they acquired Nile Davis for a conditional pick in the 2018 draft, probably a 7th rounder, and it probably depends on Nile Davis playing in a game or something. First time this year, the Deep Fried Draft Rookie of the Week goes to a defensive player, and it's San Diego Chargers outside linebacker Jatavis Brown, a fifth-round pick from Akron. Brown was a guy we liked a good bit coming out last year. Undersized, around 5'10", 5'11", but a dynamic, just attacks the football. Thought he would be a big special teams guy, but when Manti Te'o went down, San Diego needed a fill-in, and he has taken over with gusto in the game against the Broncos. 14 tackles, 1 sack, including a forced fumble that sealed the win. So congratulations to Jatavis Brown of the Chargers. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching our video, and see us back this time next week. Thank you.